Daterra is a coffee farm located in the Minas Gerais state in Brazil, in the Cerrado region. Luis Pascoal had this dream to create an agribusiness that would be fully sustainable. And at the time, the name sustainability didn't even exist. But he wanted to do a coffee farm that would take care of the planet, of the community around it, of the animals, the forests around it, and everything that would touch and surround this coffee farm. As he started to research about coffee, we found out that actually coffee from Brazil was not respected for having quality in the world market. It was not seen as an origin that would produce outstanding coffee. So that was when we created this whole system that we call the Penta system. Penta process is a set of procedures and technologies and innovative ideas that we have in every step of the coffee production process. Daterra is a Brazilian farm, and as Brazilian farms are, it's a quite big farm. So in order to produce quality in this big farm, we have created a different way to divide the whole farm into small plots that we call mini farms. Each mini farm in Daterra has from 5 to 15 hectares, no bigger than that. And by doing that, we have control of everything that happens in that mini farm as if it was an individual farm. We know what's the soil composition there, temperature, rainfall, varietal, everything that happens in that mini farm. Taste matters for us when it's time to harvest the coffee. So instead of picking the cherry because it looks ripe, we pick samples of each mini farm in the whole farm and we take that to our lab and we taste it. And that's how we determine if we should send the machines to harvest the coffee or the hand-picking teams to harvest this coffee. Daterra was the first farm to start packing coffee in vacuum, and that's our Penta box. But the Penta box is different from other vacuum packs because we flush the coffee with a combination of inert gases that are going to help enlarging the shelf life and to keep the quality of the beans. We usually say that Daterra is actually 3 different farms in terms of flavor profiles and volumes that we produce. From all of our specialty production, about 75% of what we produce is what we call Daterra Classics. Classics because they taste like what we expect as Brazilian coffee. They have the nuts, they have the chocolate, they have the sugar, the full body, but with the advantage of being produced at Daterra with all the quality control that we have. A little bit more than 24% of our specialty production is what we call collection Daterra. Those are coffees that are going to be more nuanced. They're going to have more exotic flavors, fruity flavors, flowery flavors, not only the classic Brazil taste. Of course, the classic profile is going to be there, but with these other layers added to it. And less than 1% of what we produce are what we call masterpieces by Daterra. Those are the successful microlots that we produce in our experimental unit. They are coffees that are really different from what we expect from Brazil. They challenge our old preconceived idea of what Brazil should taste like. Our masterpiece by Daterra farm is the place where we experiment all the different kinds of processes and crazy ideas to produce unique coffee flavors that are really out of the norm. We experiment with our own ideas, and we also love to invite people to help us bring in new ideas of what they are seeing in the market, of what they are seeing in other countries. We decided a few years ago that we should invite some roasters that are traveling around the world to help us in this process. That was when the Our Plot of Daterra project was born. The first partner that we have for the Our Plot of Daterra project was Café Lomi in France. We have been working with them in some research projects since 2015. Paul told us that he really liked the flavor profiles of the Beaujolais wines, and he wanted to find out what it would be like to test the same technique applied to the coffee fermentation. The process consists of picking the fully ripe cherries and placing them in a fermentation tower, still inside the skin. And the cherries, they go through a semi-carbonic maceration process because it starts off in an environment that has oxygen. As the fermentation happens, carbonic gas is released and the whole environment becomes anaerobic. And then the fermentation process finishes inside this tank in an aerobic environment. Different from other kinds of fermentation, the carbonic fermentation allows an intracellular fermentation that will bring out other flavors that are much more complex and really unique and intense. This process that we learned from this experimentation with Lomi allowed us to produce some of the best coffees we have ever produced in the history of Daterra, and we're very thankful for that, including this yellow bourbon that is featured this month in Barista Hustle.